Welcome to Why We Love Sports, Episode 8. Not Episode 8, Episode 6, my bad. Episode 8 will be in 2 weeks from this Saturday, from today. So welcome, this is Double A with ROI Entertainment, Area Entertainment. And today we're going to talk about the week in sports. And this week has some interesting news. NBA news, NFL. There's some MLB news, some stuff trickling in the baseball world, and there's also some hockey news, NHL news. And with that, let's get started with the NBA. So as you know, December 22nd is when the NBA starts their season, the 72-game season now, right? Now we know preseason starts next week. And yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday that the NBA has released the 38-game schedule from beginning of December 22nd all the way to the beginning of March for 38 games. And you can go check out for your teams, who they face, wherever you are, wherever your favorite team is. You can find that on the internet. But December 25th, Christmas, there's five games being played. And let's go take a look who the 5 games are going to be being played between the two teams who are playing each other on Christmas. Let me just get it. All right, here we go. So, at 12 o'clock p.m., Zion Williamson and his Pelicans taking on the Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. And at 2:30 p.m., Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins taking on Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks at 2:30 p.m. Now, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, you got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Boston Celtics. Is Durant healthy by then? So if he is, Durant Irving taking on Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And then here's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Mavericks and Lakers at 8 p.m. You got Luka Doncic, superstar right now, possible MVP candidate, taking on LeBron, Anthony Davis, and the defending NBA champions, the Los Angeles Lakers. You got Doncic versus LeBron. Obviously, you want to put the Lakers on Christmas. And we got the Clippers and the Nuggets. Kawhi and Paul George with all their problems, taking on Jamal Murray, Jokic, and the Denver Nuggets. And remember, this is a rematch. Remember, Clippers were up 3-1 in the series, and Nuggets came back to win it. Will they get the revenge? And we all know there's the issues between the Clippers. Apparently, there's a divide among the team, specifically with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and the rest of the team. You know, that's a mess. So those are the Christmas games. NBA, and remember everybody. Sorry about that. I exited by accident. StreamYard by accident. It's my fault. I'm back. And remember everybody, December 22nd is when the NBA kicks off the season. 72-game season. Only the first half of the schedules came out yesterday. And I hope the season goes well. I really do, because I love the NBA. Toronto's in Tampa Bay. That's where they're going to be playing for the time being, because they can't play in Canada. Obviously, they can't play in Canada. The Canadian government will allow them, which is understandable, right? Which is understandable, you know. I gotta check something here. On my phone. I'm sorry. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, that's terrible. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys to see that. I had to be on the phone for a minute there. So, yeah, I'm happy the NBA is coming back. It's not far off. I just hope, like many others, the season goes well. Nothing seriously bad happens. Let's go to the NFL. So it's week 13. Only got about a month left until the playoffs start. And they're going to barely make it to the finish line. I'm surprised. I think they're going to make it, but the Super Bowl is going to be in February 7th this year. So I'm okay with that. Let's try to get to see the standings. Then I'll make the predictions. I'll go over my phone. Standings. Wherever I can find it. So let's start with the division. Let's start with the AFC. Buffalo's 8-3 after the win last week. But they're only ahead by one game over Miami. 7-4. Miami's second in the AFC East. New England's 5-6. And the Jets are, well, winless. 0-11. In the AFC North, Pittsburgh's 11-0. Remember they continued the undefeated season by beating Baltimore this past Wednesday. Oh, hey, throwback. Not much. Just talking NFL now. Baltimore is 6-5. And I think their season's done. I think they're a trouble organization right now. Cincinnati's 2-8. Yeah, they're done with a tie. Tennessee's leading the AFC South with an 8-3 record. Indianapolis 7-4. Houston's 4-7. Jacksonville's 1-10. They're done. AFC West is 10-1. Las Vegas is 6-5. Denver's 4-7. Los Angeles is 3-8. And that's the Chargers. They're 3-8. Let's look at the conference of the AFC. Pittsburgh's 11-0. They're the first seed. Kansas City is 10-1. Second seed. Tennessee is 8-3. They're the third seed. Buffalo's fourth seed at 8-3. Cleveland's the fifth seed at 8-3. Miami is the sixth seed at 7-4. Indianapolis is currently the seventh seed, 7-4. Las Vegas is eighth at 6-5. Baltimore's ninth, 6-5. And I think Baltimore's not going to make the playoffs. New England's 5-6. They may have a chance. I think it's going to be between Indianapolis, Vegas, and New England. They're going to be the final seeds. Because I do think Pittsburgh's going to make it. Kansas City's definitely going to make it. I do think Tennessee is going to make it. I do Buffalo think it's going to make it. I think Cleveland's going to make it. Those are the 5 teams. And I do think it's going to be between Miami, Indianapolis, Vegas, and New England. Because, as I said, I don't think Baltimore's going to make it. So the 5 I have confidence are going to make it: Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Tennessee, Buffalo, and Cleveland. And then the rest is going to be available between Miami, Indianapolis, Las Vegas, and New England. Because as mentioned Baltimore multiple times. So, here's the thing about let's go to the bottom standings. Cincinnati is 14th. All right. Jacksonville's 15th. But they're 1-10. New York is 0-11. There's a chance. New York is pretty bad, but there's a chance Jacksonville could finish below New York. But New York has to win. And I think Jacksonville would love to get Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. The Cons would love to get Trevor Lawrence. And with the Jets, if they finish with the top pick, there's no way they're not going to take Trevor Lawrence too. And they'll have to trade Sam Darnold. Now let's go to the NFC division, and then I'll go to the standings. To the standings. Now the NFC. East, oh my God. New York, Washington. New York is first, Washington is second, Philadelphia is third, and Dallas is fourth. All under 500. So there's a strong chance that a team that can win the division is going to be under 500. And any team, all those teams are in it. NFC North, we got Green Bay 8-3. Yeah, they're going to win it. They're going to win the NFC North. Minnesota's 5-6. Chicago's 5-6. Detroit's 4-7. NFC South, New Orleans is 9-2. I think they're going to win it, but they lost Drew Brees. That could hurt. That's hurt. That'll hurt for sure. Tampa Bay 7-5. They have a good record, and I think they might make the playoffs. But there's a lot of issues on that team. Atlanta's 4-7. Carolina is 4-8. The NFC West is a strong division. 8-3 Seattle, 7-4 Rams, Los Angeles Rams, 6-5 Cardinals, San Francisco 5-6. So there's a chance that division could change. I do think Seattle's going to win the division. And there's 49ers a bunch of injuries, but they're in it. And let's go to the conference for NFC. Okay. New Orleans is the number 1 seed. That could change. I think Seattle will take the number 1 seed because I think they'll finish with a better record. But right now, New Orleans is number 1. Seattle's 8-3 as a number 2 seed. Green Bay's 8-3 as a number 3 seed. That could change. There'll still be a top seed, but that could change between 2 and 1. It depends on by the end of the season. And the 4th seed is currently the New York Giants at 4-7, and that could change. And that's gonna stay the 4th seed. Whoever wins the NFC East is gonna stay at the 4th seed because any team in that division could win the NFC East because they're all under 500 and they're all like 1 game back each other except for Washington. Washington's kind of tied in New York, but I guess New York won the game. So they have the advantage, and so basically the 4th seed is NFC, and that could NFC East team, and that could change any week. Like every week that could change. So Los Angeles Rams are 5th seed. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the 6th seed. Arizona is the 7th seed. And Minnesota, Chicago 5 and 6. So I think the Rams are going to make it. I do think the Buccaneers are going to squeak in. And I do think Arizona's going to make it. I do think Los Angeles, Tampa Bay, and Arizona are going to make it. I think 3 teams in the NFC West are going to make the playoffs. Chicago's falling apart, and Minnesota had a bad start, and Minnesota should be a playoff team. And if San Francisco was healthy, they could have been a playoff team. And in the rest of the divisions, Detroit's 4-7, Washington's 4-7, but Atlanta's 4-7, Carolina's 4-8, Philadelphia's 3-7, and Dallas is 3-8. But that could change, right? Washington, Philadelphia, and Dallas, they could all move up to the 4th seed. And any one of those teams could win the NFC East because how terrible that division is. It's a disgrace. And I personally think any team under 500 should not be allowed in the playoffs. But that's not how it works. And so there's going to be a team under 500 in the NFC playoffs. Now let's go to predictions. Oh, how are you doing, Throwback? By the way, predictions. So, New Orleans and Falcons and Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta with this. I think Atlanta's going to win. Detroit and Chicago. I'm going to pick Chicago to win. I don't know. Indianapolis and Houston. I'm going to go with. And Houston's been playing good. And Deshaun Watson's been playing good. I might go with Houston here. Las Vegas Raiders at the Jets in New York. Yeah, there's no question about it. Las Vegas is going to win here. Browns and Titans. Now, this is a good game. I think both teams are going to make the playoffs. But I think Titans are better. And I'm going to go with the Titans. So, Cincinnati Bengals and the Dolphins. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. Jacksonville at Minnesota. Going to Vikings to win here. Rams at Cardinals. Now this is a tough game. This is in Arizona. But I think I picked the Rams on a trivia, so I'm going to go with the Rams here to win against Arizona. New York at Seattle. New York Giants versus Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to Seattle Seahawks to win here. Philadelphia Green Bay. Going to Packers to win. Patriots at Chargers. I'm going to go with the Patriots to beat the Chargers. Broncos and Chiefs. Yeah, no question about it. I don't know what the QB situation in Denver is like. I assume it's going to be solved, and you're going to have somebody, whether it's Drew Lock, Driscoll, and I forget the other guy. They're obviously not going to use the practice squad guy. That's for Sunday. And Monday's night game, we have the Bills in San Francisco, Buffalo in San Francisco. It's a night game. There's an afternoon game. I'm going to go with the 49ers to win here to beat Buffalo. I'm going to think they're going to upset Buffalo. And the afternoon game is Washington football team versus Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh to stay undefeated and beat Washington. Even though they did not play well against Baltimore, but there's a lot of factors in that. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh over Washington. And there's a Tuesday game, Cowboys at Ravens. I'm going to go with the Ravens to beat the Cowboys. And not sure if there's a Wednesday game. And there's no Wednesday game. So those are my predictions for NFL in Week 13. And we're getting real close. We're getting real close to the end of the season and in the playoffs. Which I'll be my predictions, of course, in the playoffs. I'll go by round by round. And I'll pick a Super Bowl winner when the Super Bowl teams are announced. I think that the Super Bowl is being played in Tampa, right? Tampa Bay. Raymond Jones Stadium. Let's just hope nothing bad happens in the NFL, because ever since the Titans breakout, the COVID breakout of the Titans, as the facilities every week has been getting closed, it's getting worse and worse. And college football is even worse than the NFL, because there's more college teams, obviously, and more schools, and more games being played, and they cancel especially Ohio State, and Michigan. I don't know, man. I didn't think college was a good idea. College football is a good idea. Basketball is going on right now, but they're in a bubble, right? They're in a bubble. College basketball is going on right now in the bubble. But and apparently Baltimore, there was reason for the outbreak in the locker room and stuff. There was 4 strains of COVID. 3 of them managed to get the burnout. I guess it's burnout, whatever. They got solved. But the 4th strain was a highly contagious one. And it affected them and their family. And the player's family. And I hope this strain doesn't affect a vaccine. Because it can. If it's a mutation. But right now it looks like no mutation will greatly affect the vaccine. And the vaccine will work on all mutations right now. Which is good because in Europe, England, I know I'm going off topic. In England, they approved of the Pfizer vaccine for emergency use authorization. And the US, I know in the USA, they're gonna have a meeting on the 10th with the FDA. And from what is going on is that once the meeting is done, the next day they'll ship it out to hospitals. And apparently, Dr. Fauci said, if you're in the States, Dr. Fauci said that they already have stuff set up for Walgreens, CVS, doctors' offices, hospitals for them to receive the vaccine and give the people to get vaccinated. And remember, guys, remember this: Pfizer, Moderna, Oxford, and some other vaccine companies. I think Novavax, which should have results, and they look like the best candidate. Their results should come in January and see what it's like. It's double dose. So what it means, you take a small dose at first, you're going to feel the side effects. What side effects are normal, guys? Don't get scared with the fear-mongering side effects about, we're going to get a fever, a sore arm, you're going to feel nauseated. That's normal. I got a flu vaccine a month ago. I didn't feel any side effects. But I'm healthy, young. But it's normal. My mom got the vaccine. She's 65 and older, the flu vaccine. She did feel a little warm and stuff, but it only lasted a few hours. So don't be afraid of side effects. Don't let the mainstream media scare you into side effects, because that's normal with the vaccine. What it means is it's giving you an immune response. It's reacting to the vaccine. That's a good thing. But remember, the first vaccine, and you have to wait maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, 21 or 28 days, depending on the vaccine, which one you get. I think Pfizer's 21 days and Moderna's 28 days. You have to get a second dose. I mean, the first dose will provide you some protection, but a second dose will provide you full protection. And you probably have to wait a week or 2 before the antibodies kick in, the T cells, the memory cells kick in, because they won't be developed. They won't come in right away. But don't worry. We're going to get... FDA is going to approve the Pfizer vaccine later this week. They're going to meet with Moderna the 17th. And they're probably going to approve it by then. Europe, if you live in the UK, they're going to probably approve the Moderna vaccine before the US. In Canada, we're going to probably approve the Pfizer vaccine right about the same time as FDA approves theirs. My only problem with Canada is the first 3 months, they only have 6 million doses, so that'll vaccinate 3 million people in the whole population of Canada. That's only about 8 to 9% of the population, if you round as 10%. And our Prime Minister said hopefully the majority of Canadians will be vaccinated in September. Good Lord. And what Dr. Fauci said about full stadiums, that we won't have full stadiums until probably around end of December, fall time. So, NFL season next season looks like you could possibly have full stadiums. NHL and NBA season next season, not this season coming up, will possibly have full arenas. So it's looking positive, guys. We're going to have 2 vaccines approved this month in the world. possibly a third one with the Oxford one. And I think early in between January and March, we're gonna have 2 or 3 more vaccines approved because that's Johnson & Johnson and Novavax. That's what the plan is. Hopefully it goes according to a plan. And early in 2021, we'll have 5 vaccines approved in North America and Europe, even though the Western vaccines going around. 5 vaccines, that will help a lot. And as the months go on, there might even be more. So it's looking positive. It looks bad now with the cases, but the way it works, enough people get vaccinated, you'll start seeing less people in the hospital, less people getting sick. It's not going to destroy the virus. It's not going to destroy the transmission. It's going to reduce the transmission. It's all you got to do is reduce the transmission rate of the virus, like you do with the flu, and then we'll be back to normal. And the full arenas and full stadiums are the last thing to get back to normal. It's just how it is. Now, enough about vaccines. I'm just relating to sports, right? Sorry, in the world, because like you, I want fans back in arenas. But I want full capacity. Alright, let's go to some baseball news. So, winter meetings is happening. This week, winter meetings is happening in baseball. And this is where free agency trades will pick up. Now, they're not going to be in a hotel like they have in the past. Usually that's what they do. The management usually meet in a hotel somewhere, and that's when the managers of each team, GMs, agents, they meet with whatever, they meet with clients, and that's when they usually talk about contract and trade, stuff like that. But this past week, we got some smaller, not big time free agents. You didn't get the Trevor Bauer signings, DJ LeMahieu signings, George Springer signings. Not JT Moon. We didn't get any big time signings. We did get a trade and some small free agency news, but noteworthy ones. So I'm gonna start with the Twins and the Mets, I believe. The Mets, yes. I thought it was the Nats for a second. It was the Mets. And that is former Twin reliever Trevor May, who has a Twitch channel, by the way, has signed with the Mets for 2 years, around 15 million. Now, Trevor May was a starter at first. Wasn't a particularly good starter. But as a reliever, that's where he found his niche. As a reliever, his strikeout rate has actually gone up. As a reliever, when he's healthy, and he's a solid reliever who could probably pitch a couple innings for you, since he has a starter's arm. I think he's a good addition to the Mets for the bullpen. 2 or 3 innings. You got a good signing there in the Mets. It hurts the Twins because the Twins' weaknesses is pitching. They got Kenton Maeda and Berrios. But who do they have after that? Jake Olerud? He's a free agent, right? And he had an injury-plagued season. That's the weakness of the Twins. Yeah, they're pitching, and they lost a pretty solid pitcher in Trevor May. I mean, he's not an impact pitcher, but he's a solid pitcher, especially as a reliever. And I know relievers, they're either good or bad. You don't know, they're unpredictable. But the past few seasons as a reliever, he has been solid for them. Now let's get to a it's not exactly minor, it's a pretty solid signing, and that's Kansas City. Kansas City started to dish out some bit of money here. They signed free agent Mike Minor to a 2-year, $18 million deal, I believe. I'm not exactly sure on the term in the contract. I think it's 2 years, but I'm not sure if it's $18 million. I'm not sure if he's making $9 million a year. But Kansas City Royals have signed Mike Minor to it. I'm 100% completely sure, confident that is a 2-year deal. I'm just not sure of the money. If somebody could write in the chat, if you know what the term is, just tell me. So the Royals signed Mike Minor, right? They solid pitching. He's not a number 1, number 2, but he's a solid pitcher. Help that rotation. They're a young team, up and coming team. You got some solid pieces as well, Mondesi Jr. And they need pitching. Remember, the Royals were such a good team. Remember 2015, they won the World Series. They developed good talent over the years. Hosmer, Lorenzo Cain. They still have Salvador Perez, but that killer bullpen, Greg Holland, Ray Davis. Herrera, remember? Herrera, I think it was. Saw that lethal bullpen. They had to develop a good team that eventually won the World Series in 2015, and looking to do it again. And Mike Minor will help that rotation. Yep, he's not exactly young, but he's a veteran. And sometimes young teams need a veteran starting pitcher, like the Jays did with Ryu. And I like that signing for them. It's gonna help them. I don't think it's gonna help them greatly. It's gonna help them a little bit, because that division is Cleveland might be going the other direction, especially if they trade Lindor. But Minnesota has to do some moves to keep contending, because Nelson Cruz is a free agent, Jake Allaruz is a free agent. They especially have to try to re-sign Nelson Cruz, because Nelson Cruz is a 40-year-old, still hit home runs, had a good average. They need to sign him, and they need to beef up the rotation. And Chicago White Sox are up and coming team, and they might be the best team with the future in the AL Central. And Detroit's getting a little better too. They get the top pitching prospect in the majors. It's Casey Mize, I believe. And that division's going to get a little better next year. Except for Cleveland. Cleveland might be going the other direction. And Minnesota, I don't know where Minnesota is, because, as I said, they have to look at the team, try to re-sign Nelson Cruz. And if they can't, Marcell Ozuna, we saw the addition as a DH for them. When they let Eddie Rosario go, not a great defensively, but a solid hitter who can hit for 270s, 280s, who can hit for some power, but who also could win his speed. They let him go. And I'll get to that. I'll get to why they let him go, because there's a non-tender stuff, right? So let's get to a trade in the MLB. A trade. So the Angels acquired Jose Iglesias from the Baltimore Orioles. Solid shortstop, solid defense. He can hit a bit now. I remember at one point his weakness was hitting, but he can hit a bit for shortstop. He's not a liability, not a liability in the field or on defense. Tremendous defender. So what it means is that Simmons it's most likely a Simmons shortstop they got from Atlanta a couple years ago. It's on his way to Anaheim, Los Angeles, whatever. They'll sign another team, and any team that gets Simmons will have one hell of a defender. He can hit too a bit. His offense has gone better, but I think Simmons is better than this. But he'd be more expensive because he's a better overall player, because he can hit more than Jose can. But I think the Angels want to spend their money on other things, because they really need to upgrade the rotation. And I think they're going to make a play for Trevor Bauer. I really do, because they have the money, and I think Trevor Bauer is the big fish they want to sign. If not, I don't know. They might go for Masahiro Tanaka. I don't know, but I think Trevor Bauer is their guy, their top priority, the top target in free agency. And they might go for a solid back end guys like John Lester, Jake Arrieta, one-time aces. But I think they're going after Trevor Bauer as the number one guy. And so let's go to what happened. Non-tender, right? There's some players that have been non-tendered, right? And making them free agents. So off my head, as I said, Eddie Rosario is one of them. Mikael Franco from Kansas City. He had a solid year, but they let him go. Let's see. I don't know who else. Who else they got non-tender? Let me check. Of note. Maybe I'll do a share screen. Let me just. Let's go. I'm going to show you from MLB.com. Show you from MLB.com, okay? That's not good. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's go look. MLB players non-tendered. So this is MLB.com, okay? So Angels let Blake Wood go. Oh, this is old. Here we go. Idiots. That's not what I wanted. Hey, what's up? See, here's some non-tendered players. Okay, let's go. This is this year. So American League East, AJ Cole. I thought he was solid for the Blue Jays. Travis Shaw. Orioles, Hanser Alberto. I'm surprised. He had a solid year too. Rays, Edgar Garcia. Don't know who he is. Red Sox, no one. Yankees, Jonathan Holder, reliever. Indians, Dylan Shields, Tyler Nyquin, two outfielders, and Jeffrey Rodriguez. Wales, Mikael Franco, Foster Griffin, Jelson Guzman, Eric Meiji, Carlos Senbria, Bubba Starling, Tigers, no one. Twins, Eddie Rusell. That's a hit. He'll get some interest, I guarantee you that. Matt Whistler. White Sox, Nomar Mazara, Carlos Rodon, left-handed pitcher. Oh, he was drafted high. Angels, Justin Anderson, Matt Andres, Keenan Middleton, Hobie Milner, Hansa Wilbus. Astros, no one. Athletics, no one. Mariners, no one. Rangers, Scott Hyman, Jimmy Herget, Daniel Santana. Okay, I know him. Atlanta, Adam Duvall. Might get some interest. Marlins, Ryan Stanek, Jose Arena, reliever. He might get some interest. I'm not high on him. Mets, Ariel Hurdo, Paul Searid, Chasen Shreve, and Nick Torpino. Nationals, no one. Phillies, no one. NL Central, Alex Claudio, Ben Gamble, Jock Peterson. Cardinals, Juan Briba, Rango Braviolo. Cubs, here's some big ones. Albert Amora, Jose Martinez, Kyle Schreiber, that's a big one. Warren Tepera, Pirates, Claim Holmes. Reds, RJ Alanis, Archie Bradley. I like Archie Bradley, solid guy. Kirk Calcio, Brian Goodwin. NL West, D-backs, nobody. Dodgers, no one. Giants, Melvin Adon, Tyler Anderson, Rico Garcia, Daniel Robertson, Chadwick Trump. Padres, Greg Garcia, and Rockies, David Dahl, Chichi Gonzalez, and Troy Walters. Hey, hi. Hey, how are you doing, Jojo? Hey. Hey, how are you? So I'm going to go back to that. So, let's go back up. Archie Bradley, I think he'll be a solid guy for anybody in the bullpen. Good strikeout rate, especially as a reliever. As a starter, he was nothing, but as a reliever, good. He'll be a good addition. Now, here's the Cubs. Kyle Schreiber, right? A lot of power, but he strikes out a lot, doesn't hit for average, and he hit 188, and he can't field, so he's looking for a DH spot, and we don't know if the NL is going to have a DH this year. And so that could hurt his market. If the MLB decides the NL is going to have a DH this year, his market will open up. But I don't expect anything. I just expect a low average with power. That's it from him. Who else? This else. I like Weinstein next, solid reliever. Jose Arena, I see, as a guy is maybe fifth in the rotation. I don't like his ERA. Marlins, I don't. Adam Duvall, power hitter for the outfield. If the team needs an outfielder with power, Adam Duvall is your guy. Same as Santana from the Rangers. He has some power. Let's see. Nomar Mazara. I think some team will take a chance on. Carlos Rodon. Yeah. Eddie Rusell will be a guy I'll have interest in. As I said before, he can hit for power. He could win. Defense, yeah. There's his liability in defense, but he could hit for average power and he could win. Maikel Franco, I think some team will take a chance on him. DeAndre Shields, I don't know. Tyler Naquin. And let's see who else. Hansberry Orlando, somebody will take on him. Solid utility guy. He hit for average. His 2 years in Baltimore, his average has gone up. He's been a solid hitter ever since. So, there's some solid guys there. I'll take an interest in. And with winter meetings picking up this week, starting this week, I expect more traction on the free agent front and more trades. We're going to hear about Kris Bryant more possibly. The Washington Nationals are apparently interested in Kris Bryant. I think there's a chance Kris Bryant is going to get traded. And remember, there was like some talk about how the Cubs may not tender Kris Bryant. I didn't believe that for a second because I think they could get some value for Kris Bryant. Yeah, he had horrible 2020 season, but there's value in Kris Bryant. And I think they could get a value. And I think other teams see Kris Bryant as value too. So I think that's why the Cubs decided to tender him a contract. And to trade him, they could get something back for him. Otherwise, they would not tender him if they didn't see any value in Kris Bryant. Which, obviously, they saw value in Kris Bryant. And then Washington Nationals were one of the teams interested in him. What else was there? See, yes, as I said, winter meetings is picking up. So maybe we'll get more news on George Springer possibly going to the Blue Jays. Like every free agent might go to the Blue Jays. Who knows? I think we get more trade talk. Lindor, maybe stuff will pick up on Lindor. Where he'll go? I'm 100% confident he's not going to be an Indian next year, a Cleveland Indian. He's not going to be playing in Cleveland. He's not going to play in Cleveland. What else is there? Maybe Lance Lynn might be traded. Yu Darvish maybe. I don't know. What other free agents will be there? Maybe. So what's other free agents might be there? Who knows? Maybe talking about Trevor Bauer. I don't know what's going on with. Does he want a long-term commitment, or does he want to take the average salary, but in short term? I don't know. And in the Texas Rangers hired their new GM, former pitcher Chris Young, tall pitcher. He was like 6'10" or something, solid pitcher when he was healthy. They hired him. Now there's only one team without a GM, and I believe that's the Mets. And here's some free agent news. You know how there's speculation and rumors that they're interested in JT Realmuto? Might not be true anymore. Apparently they're interested in more of a Jamie McCann. I mean, JT Realmuto is better than James McCann, but James McCann is a solid catcher. He can hit a bit, but defensively he's solid. And I think it would help that rotation a lot. It'd be cheaper. My thinking is if they could get James McCann, they can use their money and spend it somewhere elsewhere, because I think they're one of the teams that plans to spend a lot. And there's only a few teams this year in the offseason that are going to spend a lot. Mets, Blue Jays, I don't know who else. Excuse me. Let's go. This week I'm going to be very vested in how this week goes with the winter meetings starting Monday, because it's going to be a whole lot different winter meetings than a typical winter meetings. Okay. Now, I'm done with baseball. Oh, and basketball. I think I forgot about this in basketball. We'll go back to basketball. I did forget about the trade. So earlier this week, we got a trade between Houston Rockets and Washington Wizards. We've got disgruntled Rusell Westbrook, 1 year into spending his time in Houston, getting traded to Washington for the injury-plagued John Wall, who hasn't played like in 2 years, and a first-round pick. Obviously, they had to include the first-round pick Washington because of the injuries. John Wall is contained, and he's going to Houston. Westbrook is going to the east, Wall to the west. And now, what do I see in this trade from Houston's side? You know, everything that Houston's trying to do is carry James Harden. Superstar after superstar. Chris Paul, Rusell Westbrook, now John Wall. Now, I don't know what kind of player John Wall is going to be once he comes back from injury. Will he be the John Wall of old? I don't know. I don't think so. And the thing with Harden is he needs the ball in his hands. And John Wall is the kind of player who needs the ball in his hands. And John Wall is not a good shooter. And James Harden needs guys who can shoot around him, because he dishes out assists too. My problem is James Harden's not a winning player. When it counts the most, you can't rely on him to win the game for you. Win the big games in the playoffs. It's been pretty obvious. And now we got Rusell Westbrook in Washington. Bradley Beal's there. Bradley Beal's a solid shooter, playmaker, defensive player. We'll see how that goes. Rusell Westbrook is a guy who needs the ball a lot too. What is this? It's just a change of scenery for both players, is what I see it. They're both making a lot of money. And with James Harden, clearly he doesn't want to play in Houston. He wants to get traded. I don't think he's going to the Bronx, Brooklyn. Sorry. I don't think he's going to Philadelphia. I don't know where he's going to go. But he wants to get traded. But I'm pretty sure, I'm dead set on that. Houston does not want to trade James Harden. They want him to be their player. Okay, so that's for basketball, right? That's basketball, right? So I'm gonna get some hockey news. Finally, well, I'm gonna get first the juniors. The juniors should be canceled. World Juniors should be canceled this year. They should have planned it for next year. I think next year, around this time, World Juniors will be fine. If they wanted to have it this year, not have it in Alberta, have it in the Maritimes Atlantic province. For you Americans and non-Canadians, the Americans and people around the world, Maritimes Atlantic, Canada, that's the small provinces of Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and PEI. Nice provinces. It gets extremely cold, but beautiful provinces from what I've been told and seen and pictures of. And I would love to retire there maybe one day. But I think having it there would have been better because it's safer there. It's just safer there. Now we're gonna get all these players from around the world coming here, and I think the federal government is not allowing the American players from the states, allowing the Raptors player. Why would they allow that? Why would they make an assumption for that? Because of a bubble? And actually the bubble's not working. And the New York Rangers, I'll get the schedule and stuff in a minute. The New York Rangers have decided to pull their number one prospect. Well, I guess he's still a prospect. Alexis Lafreniere from Team Canada. My guess is they're gonna have him start the season in January, and they don't want to play in the juniors. My thing is they don't want him to get sick and be around the team which is smart. They want to protect their asset. They want to protect their player. He's the number one pick, and they believe he's a franchise player. And if you talk about scouts, whatever, GM, people who have ever seen him, yeah, he's a franchise player, a team player you can build around. And I don't think the New York Rangers want to risk him getting sick by playing for Team Canada Juniors. And I don't blame him. As much as I like World Juniors, professional, if their rights are owned by a Pacific NHL team, NHL team has a right to not to let them go and pull them from the juniors team. I think they have the right to do it. It's their player. They're investing their time, their money, their development into their player. And if they don't want them to go, it's their right. It's their property. The player is theirs. And I understand that. Now let's get to some NHL scheduling news. So, for a while there, we didn't know what the schedule was going to happen. Was it January 1st? Now it looks like it's not going to be January 1st. And now it looks like it's getting pushed back more and more as the week goes on. So yesterday, there's some rumblings that potentially January 15th will be the beginning of the NHL season. And 15th was a big day because there's a lot of things happening that day. And I'll tell you after. So, January 15th. Is the target date apparently for the schedule. And they're not looking for a 48-game season like in the 2012-2013 lockout season and a 48-game season. They're looking just a little bit more games, from a 52 or a 56-game season, looking for the best option. I'm okay with that. They're gonna look at. They're gonna schedule how the teams are gonna play. It's gonna be by location in Canada division. It's gonna be. I think the Canada division should be in a bubble. 7 teams, you could work it out. You don't have to play every game. You could work it in the bubble. You can have a Canada division. You could do it in the bubble, but that's gonna be long, right? 56 games in the bubble. I don't think the players will like it, but I think it might be the only choice. And wherever the Atlantic U.S., wherever team is there, you can figure something else. Western U.S., they can figure something out. Pacific. Or Midwest U.S., Mid-Central U.S., wherever the geography in the U.S., they can work something out. The divisions, and then when the playoffs come around, that's when they can decide. I think another bubble in the playoffs, or if things are better, it might not have to, because I think by the time the NHL playoffs, usually the NHL playoffs start around mid-April. Maybe I'm just speculating. Maybe things will get a little better. I think things will get a little better, but not completely better. I don't know. But I think they might go into a bubble for the playoffs. The NBA is only going to end the season in July. No, and the playoffs is the championship in July. And I think God, I hope so. Things get better in July, and it's looking like that with the positive vaccine news. So that's my NHL stuff. Excited. This show is about to end soon. So thank you for all for no. I'm not gonna do that yet because I have stuff to plug. So on Monday, I have 3 shows: Monday, Thursday, and Saturday today. So Monday, I'm gonna talk about talk about wrestling, the week in wrestling. It's all about wrestling. That's not a new title. It used to be Wrestling Topics. I didn't have a title, but now it's gonna be called It's All About Wrestling. Kind of like my show on Thursday, which I'll get to. And then this show, I'll talk about Pat Patterson, Sting in AEW, Kenny Omega, AEW Impact relationship. Go over the review of Raw from this week. NXT, I'm not doing reviewing NXT because TakeOver is happening this Sunday. So I'll talk about AEW's Winter's Coming, and I'll talk to yesterday's SmackDown, and I'll talk about AEW TakeOver War Games on that show. So it's a weekly review, except for NXT from Wednesday's edition. And then I'll talk about other wrestling news that comes up. And I'll talk about some things that I like heading into heading possibly in WWE and AEW. And I'll talk about Nia Jax, because I'm like everybody else. She's not good in the ring, and she's injuring people, and that miscue and Raw. And also related to wrestling news, I'm gonna make a prediction video for NXT War Games soon. Everything, I have the pictures, everything. I just gotta make the video. And then after War Games, I might do a review, even though I'm gonna do it on the show Monday. I might do a review. Getting to Thursday show, it's all about the pop. I have to start with all about the pop. Start getting notes for that. So I think all about the pop this Thursday. I'm gonna talk about The Mandalorian, this past episode. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna spoil it, so be warned. And I'm gonna talk about Warner Brothers putting all their movies in select theaters and HBO streaming service for all of HBO Max streaming service for all of 2021. And whatever news comes up, like Oscar Isaacs, and I'm talking about Oscar Isaac playing Solid Snake, and he's gonna play Moon Knight. I'm not gonna talk about the Letitia Wright controversy. I don't like talking about that stuff. I'm gonna leave it out of it. I want to be fun. I don't want to be, As for Thursday shows, it's all about the pop. Saturday, I'm going to talk about, next Saturday, I'm going to talk about the week in sports. Whatever news comes up in sports this week, I'll talk about it. All 3 p.m. Eastern. And also, to plug something, so I ordered a couple sports cards, NHL cards. I'll be doing an unpacking of them. A video unpacking and post it on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. So every show is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday, it's all about wrestling. Thursday, it's all about the pop culture, And Saturday is why we love sports. All 3 p.m. Eastern. Look out for NXT prediction, NXT War Games prediction, NXT War Games review, and hockey cards unpacking video with Connor McDavid on the cover. So before I end this, I'm going to say thanks for listening. So like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in this beautiful world that we're trying to heal.